Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and I always enjoy a bit of irony, don't you guys? I personally do, and this little bit of irony is the fact that two people who found themselves on two groups of people, I should say, that found themselves on very opposite sides of the Last Jedi debate, both find themselves hating Rise of Skywalker, but for incredibly different reasons. And so currently the media cycle surrounding Rise of Skywalker is harping on one thing very specifically. It's an interesting thing to focus on. We'll get into the exact specifics in just a moment. It's very interesting that they focus on this, they choose to focus on this, because it fits into a greater narrative, something that you heard if you were reading the critical reviews before the film, even days before the film even came out, where the critics first dropped their reviews in those few days beforehand. There was a certain through line in certain disgruntled critics that I, right off the get-go, found ridiculously hypocritical and incredibly ironic. And that is just exemplified in the current talking point. And that is, so this current talking point, if you look at Rise of Skywalker right now, Google will flood you with news results for how they did Rose Tico dirty, how they effectively erased Kelly Marie Tran's character from the Rise of Skywalker, which, yeah, they did. She went from being a pivotal part, well, it's really hard to say pivotal part of The Last Jedi because literally none of her plot line was relevant to the story whatsoever. The only pivotal thing she did was keep Finn from dying, which is like, who really cares, because what has Finn actually done in the entire trilogy? So that aside, so aside from stopping Finn from dying, she's really, in spite of having a butt ton of screen time in The Last Jedi, didn't really do anything, because that whole Canto Bight sequence, in case you don't remember, it led to nothing. Led to them getting the code so they could sneak onto the ship, so they could still not escape the fleet anyway. That entire purpose that they went for it was nullified. So now she goes from being a very unimportant character with a lot of screen time to an equally, probably actually more important character, because now it seems like she has a significant role in the Resistance. So probably a much more significant character with almost no screen time. Cracks me up that Kelly Marie Tran, I think, has fewer lines in this movie than fucking Mary Brandybuck. Dominic Monaghan, notably one of the hobbits from Lord of the Rings, also that dude from Lost, which I guess we know how he made it into this movie now. J.J. Abrams sure likes his friends, doesn't he? Yeah, literally did nothing in this movie, which didn't bother me one way or another. I don't have anything against Kelly Marie Tran. The character of Rose Tico kind of adds nothing to the story and is sort of pointless. So what role would she really have had in this adventure? I don't know, just be another piece of dead weight, bopping around their adventures to, the mysterious planets of Piranha with the forbidden desert and kimchi with the fermented cabbage and imperial presents. First order presents, because they're really totally different, guys. I mean it. And so now everyone's up in arms, enraged, and this is hilariously. Two of the funniest articles that I'm reading about this were one came somewhere from Jezebel, so super feminist publication, and this clear angry feminist raging about how dare they remove Rose Tico because it was written by a bunch of white men, and white men can only stand women who just have to sit around in metal bikinis to be safe, which is like, wow, some woman-on-woman violence right there. That is a fucking woman-on-woman crime, and this is the shit. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why people say that women actually get in women's own ways and tear each other down more than men ever tear us down, because holy shit, are you really gonna minimize the role of Princess fucking Leia in the original fucking trilogy? Are you fucking kidding me? The first thing she does that we see her do is for the benefit of the entire rebellion, at the potential expense of her life, record a message to send these stolen Death Star plans away so they can be safe, then shoots a fucking stormtrooper, then stands up, goes toe-to-toe with Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader, and completely defies them, lies about the protect the rebels at the fucking expense of her entire fucking planet. As soon as she gets rescued, she's the one who finds the exit from the prison level. She's the one who finds the garbage chute. So yeah, I'm sorry, Princess Leia, literally all she did was get rescued in a metal bikini, which, by the way, while she's in the metal bikini, fucking murders the most notorious crime boss in possibly the galaxy with her bare fucking hands in a chain. So don't give me that shit of, oh no, Star Wars fans can't stand it to see a woman do anything, and Princess Leia just stood around in a bikini and got rescued. Fuck you! That is the most misogynistic shit I've ever heard, to suggest that that was her only role, was to just get rescued in a bikini. Who the fuck are you? What fucking movies did you watch? Probably not the original trilogy. You just know the Princess Leia bikini scene, and now I heard that this woman didn't get enough screen time, so I want to be outraged. and she just jumped on the Outrage bandwagon because it's fun for you. So shut the fuck up, because you know what the fuck you're talking about. So that's apparently she got erased from the movie because white men, because obviously they're responsible for everything terrible that's ever happened on the planet. And then you have another writer talking about the vote. Clearly this was to kowtow to the fans, the handful of racist, angry ones who bullied Kelly Marie Tran off of the internets. So, and this has really bothered me in this article, because that one's like, these angry nerd boys, all these nerds that bullied her off of them. I'm like, okay, the people who might have been saying racist crap to Kelly Marie Tran on the internet are not your average Star Wars nerd, okay? And this is why, by the way, this is why these angry Star Wars nerds that you keep picking on are so fucking angry at people like you right now, because we have been benign Star Wars nerds all our fucking lives. We don't go around being racist or abusive to random people, to actors. Most of us don't do that. Yes, I understand that it's happened in the course of this franchise and other franchises, by the way. It's not like Star Wars fans are the only fans who've ever harassed actors from any movie ever. That's just a ridiculous statement to make. And it's not all or even most fans. I certainly wasn't harassing Ahmed Best or Jake Lloyd after The Phantom Menace came out. I certainly wasn't harassing Kelly Marie Tran after The Last Jedi came out. Nor will I be. Nor do the majority of fucking Star Wars fans. And the bullshit is to sit there and be like, you're nerds. Guess what? Nerd is a derogatory term used to describe any non-mainstream jock-like kid growing up in school. We all got bullied by being called nerds back then. So maybe you should fucking watch your fucking word choice here. Because all you're doing is being part of the problem. You sit around running around crusading for the innocent, for minorities, for people who've been marginalized. Guess who are fucking marginalized? The fucking nerds who grew up liking Star Wars before y'all decided it was cool and your fucking vehicle for your social justice crusade. God, and I said I was going to swear less on this channel. Anyway, the point is that it's that already ridiculous. It's ridiculous, hypocritical. And this is framed within, like I said, this greater discussion about the Rise of Skywalker and why a lot of people hated it. A lot of people who loved The Last Jedi hated the Rise of Skywalker because they felt that the filmmakers were actively trying to undo things that Rian Johnson had did. And this was so rude. How could they be so rude to Rian Johnson? How could they be so uncaring and disrespectful to him? You don't see why that's a hypocritical thing to say. Like that when Last Jedi came out, you ran around being like, oh my God, he's so clever and brilliant. Look at all the amazing changes he made. And now you're turning around and being like, how could they disrespect him so? Like, do we not see? Dude, your boy did it first. Like, the entirety of The Last Jedi was disrespectful to The Force Awakens and literally every Star Wars film that had ever come before it. So, what? So your whole point is, so what you're saying, what I'm hearing from this narrative of like, The Last Jedi deserved our respect and fuck anyone who disrespected because it was different, it was new and innovative, is that you don't actually like Star Wars. None of you bitches actually like Star Wars, which is why you love The Last Jedi, because it really wasn't Star Wars. And you're grumpy that not everybody who's taking care of a more than 40-year-old franchise that is beloved by millions wants to just tear up that legacy and start fresh like your boy Johnson. Sorry, that's not how this is. The most idiotic, hypocritical thing to do ever, to run in and be like, no, this was the best Star Wars, and who cares? Who cares about the legacy it shot on? Who cares about the work done by other filmmakers that The Last Jedi erased? But no, the second we disparage the legacy of The Last Jedi, we are being so cruel to Rian Johnson. Did you ever think that maybe Rose Tico just didn't have a place in The Rise of Skywalker? Because she didn't really have a place in The Last Jedi either. She was just kind of this new character shoehorned in. So again, the utter hypocrisy, the utter ridiculousness of, I can't believe you didn't give Rose Tico more screen time. I can't believe you introduced this completely new out-of-left-field character that didn't have a fucking place in the goddamn universe suddenly, abruptly into the second movie for no fucking reason. So, there you go. Turnabout's fair play, motherfuckers. Wow, I'm really doing a bad job of not swearing. Not doing a job of not swearing is what's happening. But yeah, so that's, I mean, to me, it's the utter ridiculous, the utter hypocrisy. The reasoning that Abrams and what's-his-face, Terrio have offered, the co-screenwriter, is that they elected to have Rose be back, with the Resistance, which I think, could work as her being like you could have brought her in as a, second in command to Leia, a trainee to Princess Leia, the next new badass woman. She's not, she was never going to be. But if that was your idea, okay, I could see justifying keeping her at base with Leia. But then the problem they ran into is that the footage they shot for Rose just didn't work with the footage they had already shot for Carrie Fisher. So obviously you have a problem with when you have a finite amount of footage because somebody died. or may she rest in peace, that beautiful, beautiful lady. Which is, by the way, so stupid, because some people are phrasing this narrative like, blame Carrie Fisher for why Rose didn't have a big part. Screw you, Carrie Fisher. Like, no, I'm sorry, she's dead. Do not speak ill of her. It's not her goddamn fault. Shut up. So yeah, so that's the idiocy that's happening right now. That's the utter hypocrisy. And if you can't see how this narrative and this pushing and changing and twisting and bastardizing of this narrative is a problem and is harmful to the legacy of such a beautiful universe, and I can't help you, because that's the whole thing. We should not be having to have these arguments, these discussions. This should not be this polarized, politicized thing. It should have continued to be a non-morally ambiguous battle between good and evil that picked up on the legacy that the original trilogy left off, and it was not that. There's no universe in which that is what we got, and that is what happened. And you can make arguments for whether you like it or you didn't like it, or you think it's good or you think it's bad, but very, very clearly, it is a mess. It's a goddamn mess, and you can't be having these discussions about, well, Abrams was right to do this because Rian Johnson changed it first, but Rian Johnson shouldn't have been disrespected because he made those changes, and those are good changes, those are canon changes now, and it's like, this whole thing this is all Disney's fucking fault for not having a story from beginning to end in the goddamn first place. There's no reason that shouldn't happen, and it's dumb. The end. So that's what I want to talk about, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you press the like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you click on all these other videos, help support Mindless Entertainment, click on the links below, support Patreon, support me on PayPal if you don't like Patreon, buy some of my amazing t-shirts. There's original designs, original artwork by awesome people on there, including Anna, that Star Wars girl. Yeah, follow me on the social medias, on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, on Instagram, Mindless Entertainment. Subscribe to LA Cheesesteak Reviews. This is my awesome other YouTube channel, and we're going to be putting up amazing content in the new year. So you guys have a happy new year. God Empress out.